Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Grid Talk podcast. Yeah, you only got two of the Revving engines this time. I'm getting better at this. How are you all? As you can see, Wajid is joining us yet again to discuss the Italian Grand Prix historic race overall. And it may only be 1, 2, 3, 4 straights and a couple of chicanes, but it always comes up a bit of a cracker.
It does. It's as you say, it's historic. It's iconic from the incredibly old circuit with the bankings and things like that to this modern incarnation we have of Monza. It's up there with Silverstone, Spa, Monaco in terms of it's not an F1 calendar without that race on the calendar. To be perfectly honest, and yeah, there's always been, is it going to be on the calendar and stuff like that? But you can't lose the Italian fans. You just can't. The passion, the tifosi. They're about an hour and a half away from Milan. It's just iconic, and it's always nice to go back.
Yeah, it's always an interesting Grand Prix because obviously everybody is there for the speed of the race. We will cut in straight away with the biggest piece of news that's coming into Monza, and that is that Logan Sargent has finally been, I say finally, I think that's maybe a little bit harsh, finally left Williams, and in his place is a bit of a surprise contender. But first, we'll take Wajid's view on Sargent.
He didn't leave Williams. He was ceremoniously drop kicked out.
He was, but I've got to be honest. Like we'll get on to Wajid's view in a second. I think it's a little bit harsh. I think when you look at say Latifi, you got 3 years. I would say Sargent is an improvement on Latifi's results. The downside for Logan, literally the only reason. Oh, excuse me. That's my fault for drinking a fizzy drink just before we start. My reasoning for Sargent being thrown out is purely the crashes. His pace has slightly improved this year. He hasn't been last all the time. He's, Nicholas Latifi, unless he had mixed conditions, it wasn't really. It was said straight away he's going to be on the back of the grid. I know he scored more points than Sargent, and Sargent only got a point at America because of Lewis's disqualification. But I just think he's done okay.
A point's still a point.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think he's done all right. And I think it's not a De Vries situation. It's not a Latifi situation. It's not a Mazepin situation. It's not Schumacher, who's obviously still out in the cold slightly. I think with Sargent, he will find a place elsewhere and he'll be quite successful at
that. Or a Kartikane, or a Karun Chandok, or a UEG Day.
I'm not going to say he won't be on American TV, though.
I think to cut him at this stage of the season is harsh. To be perfectly honest, because he's getting replaced at the end of the year. You bullied him everyone forgets that he got bullied at the start of the year when Albon smashed his car in Melbourne. Yeah, in Melbourne, only to get replaced for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So, it's not like you're competing for anything. Just let him ride out the nine races. You go into America twice. Can't wait to see the Williams reception in Kota, by the way. I think that's going to be interesting. Just let him ride out the 9 races. What's the kid that's replaced? Is it Capilli?
Franco Colapinto.
Colapinto, sorry, thank you. Everyone from the sounds of it seems surprised that Colapinto is the one that's taking the seat. No one seems to rate him highly. He's done an average job in F2. So how much of a replacement are you getting anyway? It's going to take him 3 races to get up to speed. So what's the point?
Well, I think it's early because it's a week break. I think you've got, we look at the season coming up. Let me just find it.
We go to Azerbaijan, then I believe
When's this winter break as such?
it's after Singapore.
After Singapore. So what we've got is a few races to go. But I suppose, again, a bit like Nick de Vries, you're coming into a circuit which you do know. You can come in. You've done, I think, did he do free practice last season? I'm not 100% sure on that. But he may have done free practice last season. He's definitely run some free practices this season. But now, in terms of Sargent, I just think it's a little bit on the early side, a little bit. But I'll tell you what was damning. I think Zandvoort, FP1, FP2, it's mixed conditions. He was showing a decent amount of pace. You know, I'm not saying he was Albon's speed, but he was a decent amount of pace. Williams had no chance of bringing Sights in. He's not going to dump Ferrari now for Williams, is he? It's just not going to happen. So Williams are sort of in a rock and a hard place. There's one grid place left. And this is why, and it will come out hopefully in another video if I could get around to doing it, why Colapinto is the right choice. Because at the end of the day, what choices do Williams have? You can keep Sargent, but right now he's running up massive bills of damage. Let's be honest. And they're trying to bring developments through. You need development work to be done. And Sargent is constantly putting it in the wall. And that's his problem. It's not pace, because he's got a decent... I think Logan Sargent's... I mean, how many races? Was it 36 he's done? I will find out in a minute, because for some reason I haven't brought up the page, which was really stupid of me. Just give me a second. I'll just find that link again. Again, thank you to Motorsport Stats for this. In terms of Logan Sargent, you haven't got anybody to sort of compete against right now. You know, you're an American driver, but it's not been good. Yeah, 36 starts, a best finish of 10th, a best on the grid of 6th, which obviously in a Williams is just like crazy. That was at Las Vegas last year. But obviously that's what happens. You know, give him a track that nobody else knows. He's popped it 6th on the grid. That Williams was very strong. Only 9 retirements. So when he is sticking it in wall, it's a lot of the time it's been practice when he's done so. But 7 DNFs last year, reduced it to 2 this year. But it's he is competing. That's the thing.
He does also have a DNS next to his name.
Yes, there is a did not start, but that wasn't down to him, was it? But it was certainly a huge knock of confidence for the kid. And we've got to remember, he is still 23 years of age. He has massive career ahead of him. I think, you know, we mentioned it on other podcasts, he will go off and probably go to IndyCar. And we've seen how somebody like Marcus Ericsson's gone across there. Logan knows what it's like to be American and being American. Maybe he'll be the next... Because everyone was waiting for Alexander Rossi when he went across there and won Indy 500, and they thought, oh, yes, finally, the American hero. Maybe Logan will go across there and do something like that and be the one to compete against Alex Palau and Scott Dixon and the Penske boys. Maybe Penske for a third car could stick him in instead of Will Power. That'd be one. Then Will Power would be sticking with Birdie up, as he constantly seems to be doing right now. Anyway.
It's really weird.
It is a weird obsession he's got. We move on. Colapinto comes in, as Wajid has said, in F2 this year. I'm just going to bring up his full results for this season. But he's not been terrible. He's been almost a surprise package, I would say.
I wouldn't say. Being sixth in F2 isn't a surprise package. Being sixth in F2 is... Yeah.
I think it's a surprise package because of what he's done before. Now, he has won the Buenos Aires Regional Championship in karting, and he was first in the...
Yeah. Yes, that prestigious trophy that everyone fights for. Yeah.
He has been off to do some European karting, but it took him till Spanish F4 to come across and do some real European racing. He won the Spanish F4 championship at his first full attempt that year. Let me just see who's in. Ollie Gerfer was in there, who's obviously quite highly rated. Johnny Edgar, not full of massive names, but you still have to go win it. You beat who's in front of you. Third in Formula Renault Euro Cup, but that was a bit more beefed up with talent. I'm just trying to see the name. Paul Aron, Victor Martins was in there, to name a couple. And then he got third in the Asia Le Mans Series, sixth in Formula European. He seemed to do everything in 2021, which is surprising considering it was we had the mixed year with a little bit of COVID mixed in as well. Then he went to FIA Formula 3, Van Amersfoort. This is why I say he's prized people, because he was ninth in 2022. 23, he was fourth in F3, which is pretty good, but he did he take the last two rounds out? No, he actually finished the season for MP. Did he? Hang on, let me get right. Yes, he finished the season for MP Motorsport, and then he went to MP Motorsport and did Abu Dhabi in F2. Obviously, when you're jumping into F2 that quickly, you're going to struggle,
You are going to struggle.
Yeah, he did all right. He lost out the F3 championship to Bortoletto, Zach O'Sullivan, who is the other young driver at Williams. We'll get onto that in a second, and Paul Aron. So he beat Pepe Martin, who's Red Bull Junior, Gabriele Mini, Alpine Junior, Ollie Gerfer. Taylor Barnard was 10th in the championship, just being signed for Formula E with McLaren. So he beat some talent, but he wasn't like, oh my God, this guy's going to make Formula One. And
which is why I'm so shocked that he's in the F1 car.
Yeah, but then this season, he's had a very mixed season, but so has everybody in F2 and F3 this season. It's been crazy. But he got a disqualification in the Melbourne feature race, but won in Imola. He also podiumed in Catalonia feature race and Red Bull Ring in Austria, 2 top 5s in Silverstone, sitting 6th in the championship. But most importantly, I think, in all of this, if you look at this year's F2 championship, he is ahead he's on 96 points. Zach O'Sullivan's on 59. Now, Zach O'Sullivan was meant to be the next Williams young driver to come through, and Colapinto seems to have overtook him on that. So it's not the worst choice in the world for me. And we'll get on to Wajid in a minute. He said he's surprised. I think it's the right choice because who else was in the running? Mick Schumacher was in the running. He was looked over by Alpine. Also, you had who else was in the running? Mick Schumacher and Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson. So you've got 2 drivers there, F1 proven. Liam Lawson, Red Bull are not going to let go of him. They've already stated they want him in his car next year. So why would Williams take on Liam Lawson, have Liam Lawson do really well, back him up to be a contender against them next season? We know RB are 30 points ahead of Williams this season, but next season, all different kettle of fish. It just makes no sense for Liam Lawson to go there. Mick Schumacher, again, a driver comes in. He has a reputation for damaging cars. We'll ignore that one. But in terms of Mick Schumacher, yes, he'll bring the brand in of Schumacher. But let's say he did really well. What do you do as Williams? You can't get rid of Seitz. You can't get rid of Albon. Schumacher's back out in the cold again. The only place he can go is Audi. It's not like there's seats galore on the table. So you want to take somebody who you can go, right, Franco, you've got 9 races now. If you impress us now, we could get you places because obviously links with Mercedes. You could be maybe a reserve driver and you'll be willing to go back to F2 next season improve, and then look at 2026, as Franco Colapinto will. And he'll use that experience right now of 9 races. If you pick anybody else who's not your reserve driver or not willing to drop back down to F2, then what's the point? You're just improving another driver. I've seen suggestions, why didn't we wait till IndyCar season's out to bring in Alex Palou or Colton Herta? Oh, what do you do when he does well? Send him back to America? It's just, that makes zero sense. Take somebody he's been on the simulator, they've run him in FP1, they don't even have to do changes to the car because they've got his settings. And away he goes at Monza. Okay, Singapore will be tough. Don't get me wrong, Singapore will be tough, but at least he's starting on a circuit he knows and not a lot of corners to worry about, really.
Well, we've got Monza, Azerbaijan, then Singapore, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. So he's got a couple of circuits he knows to bed himself in.
The thing is, I hear everything you say. I just think when people called for the trigger to be pulled at the end of last year when they thought he wasn't good enough, all we heard is it's his first year, let's give him time, bed him in, etc., like stuff like that. He started the season, and he did start the season decent. Yeah. Like it wasn't like he was away. Then, like, people overlooking, Williams have a lot of blood on their hands because they're the ones that have kicked the crap out of his confidence. They're the ones that took the car off him in Melbourne when he did nothing wrong. They're the ones that don't back him the same way. Yes, okay, cool. Albon has outperformed him. James Vowles wasn't very kind when he binned it in. I mean, I wasn't kind, but I'm a podcaster.
James Vowles, not his boss.
I'm not his boss. James Vowles wasn't kind when he binned it in Miami for the overtake on, is it K-Mag?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it K-Mag? Yeah. He wasn't kind then. And then obviously science takes a seat. You're losing the job. So what? You're gonna put in Colapinto for 9 races. If this falls apart, if Colapinto falls apart and he's even further behind than what Sargent is, bear in mind we're going to a very, very tough racetrack in Singapore in a couple of weeks' time. I'm not sure whether I don't think he's ever raced in Qatar. Let me just check the calendar quickly. Kota, I think they've raced. He's never raced in Mexico. I don't think he's raced in Brazil either. So, good luck, kid. And for all of James Vowles' I'm such a nice guy, or like, and for all of James Vowles' look at him, James is great. Like, not good. I just don't think it's a good look.
I kind of get that, but if you've got Colapinto, who, I don't know, takes a couple of races to get up to speed, a couple of temps off the pace of Sargent, but isn't binning it every week, and let's say this goes terribly for Colapinto, what have you lost as Williams? You haven't lost anything. Victor Sim, yeah, we're just going through that now. Wajid is saying that we think Sargent, that he thinks Sargent probably should have just got till the end of the season by now because of how little's left. I'm saying I can understand why they made the move, and also that Colapinto is probably the best choice they could have made, because if you put somebody in who goes and does well, what you're going to do about it, except for if you've got a junior driver, you can go, right, you are now our number 1 junior driver.
I'm not disagreeing with the replacement choice. I am disagreeing with how they binned him. Let me clarify.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. And there is one thing that I definitely disagree with. Now, we know Logan has been very good at binning Williams cars, but at least don't make him get the bus home. Logan Sargent was actually seen at the bus stop having to get the bus home from Williams yesterday.
And for those who don't know the Brackley area, the factories are literally, quite literally in the middle of nowhere. You've got
Grove is, yeah.
Yeah.
Grove is the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you've got factories. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. Like you are quite literally watching cars drive by, and you're waiting for one bus to appear. I think every 30 minutes or something. And it was also stated that some of the team members saw him stood at the bus stop and
we're going the other way. Now, I will hold my hand up to that in terms of the person who I know it from. Kind of fair enough. You've had a long day. You're trying to get home. You probably didn't even realise it was Logan. But surely you've sat with you would at least give him a lift to the nearest train station. I mean, come on, Williams. That is just a little bit. Literally, he got, for all your older viewers, he got his bus fare home, but didn't get a bully. See, even Wajid doesn't get that one.
I don't know. Sorry.
Were you not a bullseye person? Okay.
No, you're a bit older than I am, my friend.
You always got your BFH, your bus fare home. Anyway, so yeah. Come on, Williams. Sort it out slightly. I think it's good, though, in terms of Vals, that it took him time to make this decision. He's tried to give Sargent enough time. I think if Sargent doesn't crash at Zandvoort, he gets Monza. I do think that. I think that was the moment where he went, no, come on, Logan, you've shown pace and now you've thrown it at the wall. Yeah. So I think, they've given him enough chance, but now it does show a bit of strength, not going, well, we'll keep him till the American races and keep it that way. And, it's not often we see somebody from F2 have to move up mid-season, but it happens. So that is our review of Logan Sargent. Logan, thank you. I feel like you have been a bit of a different personality in the paddock, and you will be you'll probably get a very nice drive over in IndyCar and do very well for yourself. So you're still young enough. You still got a career ahead of you. So don't put it out that way. In terms of Colin Pinto, I think if it doesn't work out, he's got WEC as well. So.
Logan, F1 has 52 races in America, and they still thought you were crap that they binned you. Like, it says it all, really. You're not coming back. Just go over in IndyCar and piss off with the rest of them. Thanks for playing. Yeah,
it's ironic he says that, and then he says Logan should have got to the end of the season.
No, like he should have been given a chance, but now that he's gone, well, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry over sport milk. Like, he wasn't good enough.
He is also being replaced by the first Argentine in Formula One who was born 2 years after the last Argentine who was in Formula One, who was
Pantano.
No, he's Italian. Gaston Mazzacane, who was in the Prost and also the Minardi the year it was that fluoro yellow Telefonica stuff, because Alonso was in the.
God, that was disgusting.
That was when Alonso was in the reserve drive, so they went, oh yeah, Spanish. Anyway, we'll move on.
When the sponsorship money hit differently.
Yeah, definitely did, and that wasn't long before Minardi sold out to, well, about 5 years roughly to Red Bull. Anyway, Monza's place in Formula One. It's been there since the start. First Grand Prix 1921. So before Formula One, as it's known, started, the first Grand Prix as a Formula One Grand Prix was 1950, of course. Giuseppe Farina, actually Italians, won the first three before. Ironically, Argentines took over, with Fangio winning it 3 times. Could we see an Argentine Grand Prix victory this weekend? That'd be a turn up for books. It's not going to happen.
Imagine the scenes.
Yeah, it would be one of them. But the last person to jump into a car at the Monza Grand Prix, yes, that is Nick de Vries, and he scored points. So, maybe. last 2 races being won by Max Verstappen. Actually, to be fair, the last 4 years have been a bit of a Red Bull loving. 2 for Max Verstappen, 1 for Daniel Ricciardo at McLaren, and then Pierre Gasly's Alpha Tauri victory. And yet we turn around and say it's not a Red Bull track. Okay. It's a weird one, isn't it? He's won the last 2, but, you know, it's amazing what you can do with a bit of brake system. Anyway.
And there goes the Red Bull invite.
Yeah, we had Charles Leclerc 2019, and then Lewis Hamilton winning twice either side of a Nico Rosberg winning his championship year. And then we're going back a couple for Sebastian Vettel, sandwiching Lewis, Alonso's win at Ferrari in 2010. So Ferrari only winning 2 of the last 13 at Monza. We do think they might have a car a little bit set up for Monza, so that'll be quite interesting. The first piece, obviously, after the Williams news, is that Kimi Antonelli will get his debut in the Mercedes for FP1. Don't get too excited; he's not doing the race, not yet, anyway.
That's next year.
The confirmation seems to be that he will be announced probably tomorrow as the second Mercedes driver in Formula One next season. For some reason, Norton has just told me there's a scan needed. Yeah, go away. I don't know why things are popping up on my other screen. Yeah, Kimi Antonelli. It's not going to be on my other screen. It's going to be on this screen. Kimi Antonelli will take over George Russell's car, which seems a bit of a shock. You know, but then because I thought they'd try and make sure that Lewis's car was not swapped in Abu Dhabi, so he can have the whole weekend as his last Mercedes one. It would suck if they took that away from him, I'll be honest. But anyway, Kimi will be in for FP1 for George Russell alongside Lewis Hamilton.
Sorry. Would it really? It'd be true to form for what Mercedes are capable of in terms of backing Lewis in Abu Dhabi.
Fair point. But we'll see. But maybe they'll slip him in just before that. Maybe it like his, I don't know, some circuit that Kimi Antonelli's actually done. We'll see.
It's Azerbaijan. It's just Azerbaijan.
I don't think he's done Azerbaijan. F3 didn't go there, did they?
No, I don't think so.
F3 2023. I don't think they did, but I'll check. Wikipedia, amazing thing. No, they didn't. So he's never been to Azerbaijan. He's been to Monza. Definitely done Monza in F4. This will be a different beast for him.
He's getting replaced in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it is probably going to be Abu Dhabi because there has also been rumours of an Abu Dhabi rookie race instead of the young driver test at the end of the year, which they allowed Fernando Alonso to do, so it's not very young driver. But yeah, have a race weekend instead. The teams aren't going to go for it. They're not. There's too much cost involved.
I hate Liberty Media.
Yeah, there's too much cost involved. Anyway, back to Monza. The circuit has not changed really. Even the oval bit. They took the oval bit out in 1948, and still to this. Oh no, the years are combined in 50s and the early 60s as well. But since 70s, they pretty much had the same thing, just adding in a chicane every now and again. No surprise victories probably since, well, Gasly was a surprise actually. Let's get that right. But he looked into a safety car. He pitted just before the safety car.
And the Mercedes team self-imploded. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. I think the last surprise winner really we had there was Sebastian Vettel in 2008 in those wet conditions, but he did stick it on pole. And then Heinz-Harald Frentzen back in 99 when he was on his championship charge. So we do get the odd surprise winner. Safety car isn't unknown.
Would you not say the would you not say the McLaren one too was a surprise in 21?
It was a surprise that Daniel Ricciardo won it, but Lando was getting podiums. So it was coming along at that stage. I mean, Pierre Gasly was having a good run in 2020. Brenton was winning in. So really, the big one was Sebastian Vettel in 2008 when Seb Bourdais should have joined him on the podium, but decided, I don't like fourth on the grid. I'm going to stall. That was the end of Seb Bourdais' career in terms of F1 anyway. But that's the invite to IndyCar, and Weck disappeared from the French. Anyway, I'm just ticking them off on my list down. So Monza, great little circuit. I think we all love going there. Tifosi, they've improved a lot of stuff lately in terms of grandstands and stuff. Speaking of as well, Hungary now has no pits. It's all demolished. They're replacing all that. There's been a few Italian changes to the circuit. Circuit layout should be the same. But there is new tarmac for a start. So that will change things because apparently it will keep the heat better. If it keeps the heat better, that's apparently not good for Mercedes, which is really weird because they were still quick in Hungary when it was really hot. So I don't know what the press are talking about there. But they've resurfaced everything, even the pit lane. They've smoothed it out to help drainage because Monza always have the hanging trees and the problems with rain.
Yeah.
So there's different curbs. So from the sky, it does look like turn one has now gone from an exact 90 to almost coming back on itself, but it's not. So it was like that, and it looks like it comes back a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I understand what you mean, but
yeah,
I mean, the only thing that's going to make any sort of big difference will be the tarmac.
Yeah.
I am kind of I'm kind of hoping the tarmac gets washed away a la Turkey 2021 because that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it'd be amazing if it does. I will say the first corners might be a little bit safer because there's a bit more room on the outside of each one. The way the lines are now painted, which we know everybody ignores the white lines anyway.
Maybe Lewis and Maxwell can now race alongside each other to turn one.
Well, actually, going with the new way it's marked out actually means that kind of accident probably can't happen because Max would have a lot more to come back on the left-hand side to get round the outside of Lewis. So I don't think that kind of accident would happen.
He'd still find the black of Mercedes. He'd still find the black part of the Mercedes and mentally capitulate. But anyway, I mean, like I said, I'm more interested to see how the tarmac reacts to the cars and stuff. I wasn't expecting, spoiler alert to my preview, wasn't expecting the Mercs to be up there anyway. So
not in a straight line,
no. So yeah, don't really think it makes a difference.
We say that, but then at Silverstone, the Mercedes were pretty quick.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the Silverstone tax for Lewis, isn't it? Because he's just epic around Silverstone. Maybe when he's in the red of Ferrari, he might get that red superpower.
We will also add, while I think about it, we will have Ferrari possibly hinting at a change of livery. They did this last year and then just slapped a little bit of blue on the car. They've now come out with black carbon fiber overalls when they had all blue last year. Are you trying to pull the wool over our eyes again, Mr. Ferrari, or are you actually going to come up with? Are you actually going to come up with like a a black Ferrari with yellow writing.
I was trying to work out. Was it last year?
Last year was the sky blue. No, sorry, no, that was Miami.
No, like I'm sure last year was the yellow.
Last year was yellow. I'm thinking of Miami, where they did all the press and went, "Look, we're coming out with a blue Ferrari," and then they just went, a little blue sticker.
I was trying to work out, I was like, I'm sure it was. Yeah.
No, it was the yellow one this year. They're very good at turning around and go, "We're going to have a new livery here at Maranello, and we've stuck a new sticker on it." That's what they kind of do. So, spoiler alert: you might see a little announcement probably today from Ferrari saying we've got a new livery, and then it's not going to actually be much of a livery change.
That's right.
In terms of the tyres, as I say, we'll see what happens. And also, please don't be shocked if it's a one-stopper. Monza is nothing but a one-stopper, because in the pit lane, what are you doing? 60 kph, I think it is, because it's so narrow.
Something like that.
And on the straight, you're doing well in excess of 300.
And
it's a lot of time lost.
It's not. And even in terms of the tire wear, it's not a tire burner. It's not hard. It's not overly harsh on the tires. It's more of a brake destroyer more than anything else. So generally, one stops are the way to go, unless we get a late safety car, which, given the way F1's going this year, even that you can't say is guaranteed, because I thought there'd be a safety car in Zandvoort. And
well, you say that. We are now actually on a new record for Grand Prix without a safety car. That includes a virtual safety car. We haven't had anything since Canada, I believe. So it's 6 races. And the last time something of this magnitude happened was 2009 between, I want to say, Monaco and Europe. I think that's what I read. It's so back in the Brawn GP, before Mercedes had even decided to come back. That shows you how long ago it was. So yeah, it's one of them that, you know, Monza does come up with. It's an all-style track. We get high-speed accidents. I think last time we had a safety car because Leclerc was in the barrier parabolica and things like that. So you will get safety cars if there's an accident. I think, you know, we're in for hopefully a cracking race. And DRS, this is the thing. The old thing with Italy used to be, how small can you make your wings? Now it's put a bit of wing on and hope you get the DRS, and then you get the speed. So any advantage on the DRS that Red Bull do have, which seems to be minimal now, will be certainly coming into play. But we'll see. So with that, it's prediction time. After Wajid's shocked victory, more shocking than Pastor Maldonado winning in Spain, more unexpected, should we say, than Pastor Maldonado winning in Spain.
This year you should have kept.
Yeah, I should have done. Also, more unexpected than Jarno Trulli winning in Monaco, then getting sacked by France. There's one for the old ones.
Fair.
Qualifying prediction. We'll go with myself first, shall we? So Monza qualifying prediction. We're going to go for in 5th place is going to be Lance Stroll. In 4th place.
Oh my God, you've been serious?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
In 4th place is going to be Alex Albon.
Third place is going to be
Third place is going to be
Manuel Fangio.
No, third place is going to be Max Verstappen. Second will be Lando Norris. And on pole position, in the home Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc.
So I've gone for a less Vettel-induced top 5. I've gone. I'll have a go. I've gone Sainz in 5th, Verstappen 4th, Piastri 3rd, Leclerc 2nd, Norris 1st.
Yeah, just to explain some of mine, Albon, Williams like straight lines tracks, and he's going really well. The improvements, apart from 2 millimeters of the floor, was good in Zandvoort, so I can see that car doing well again. And Lance Stroll just goes well at Monza. He always has done, and I feel like he's done okay-ish lately. I mean, remember he had the 5 grid penalty, didn't he? 5-second penalty, so for speeding in a pit lane in Zandvoort. So that's why I've gone that. It would be a bit of a wild qualifying, and I've just realised, unlike Wajid, who's probably had a look, I haven't had a look at this weekend's weather forecast. Can we find it? That's broadcast information. Monza forecast. That's what we need.
It's bone dry.
Okay, maybe them two were a bit over exaggerated. But anyway, race.
It's bone dry.
We'll go for your race predictions now.
So I have gone for Carlos Sainz in 5th. I've gone for Max Verstappen in 4th. I've gone Piastri 3rd. I've got Norris 2nd. And I think it's going to be a Tifosi celebration in Monza. And I think Leclerc wins his 2nd Italian Grand Prix.
Okay, and before I throw out mine, everybody in chat, if you want to throw out your predictions, we can add them to the stream or add them to the comments below if you're watching this on a non-live broadcast. Top 5 for me, I am going to go 5th, Alex Albon.
Fair play.
4th will be Lewis Hamilton. Hang on. 4th will be Lewis Hamilton. Yeah. 3rd will be Carlos Sainz.
Why do I feel like Max Verstappen is not making your top 5?
2nd will be Lando Norris. And in 1st place, Charles Leclerc.
Yep, knew it.
No Max Verstappen, because I feel like this is the circuit which either Red Bull is going to struggle or he's going to have an incident.
So this is the race you feel the title race gets blown wide open.
Yeah. I had that the other way around, by the way. I had Albon. I didn't have Hamilton in 2nd.
Sorry, my apologies. Let me edit that.
God, I need a new editor.
Sorry, I cut.
So it was Albon, Hamilton, Sainz,
Norris. Yeah. Sorry.
And this is on the idea. I'm going to hold my hands up now and put an asterisk next to it. That Ferrari have been, as we thought, making a Monza spec set up because they know they're not in the title hunt, and they know that this weekend they could use Monza. In two races' time, they can use Monaco. So we'll see. And then at Las Vegas, obviously, we can use Monza as well because it's pretty similar. I
am very interested to see the Vegas spec cars that these guys are going to bring.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they plan to do. Hopefully, they have sealed down all drain covers at Las Vegas. But anyway, that is our predictions. If you've got any predictions, and I'm not sure there's that many eyes in predictions, so I apologise.
I don't think there is either.
Oh well, we'll hide it. Nobody will know. No, there isn't a rolling banner either. Anyway, Monza this weekend. There are our predictions. If you've got any predictions, throw them out there. I am also just going to say to you all, if you have any time on your hands, the F3 are finishing their season, and the F3s around Monza are normally, well, if you ever saw 2019 qualifying or Moto 3 qualifying ever, watch an F3 qualifying.
It is toxic. It is toxic.
It is going to be hell. But this weekend, you have Leonardo Fornaroli, the driver who has 0 wins this season, leading the championship with 129 points. He's finished no lower than 12th all season, though. Gabriele Mini, Alpine Junior. So 2 Italians separated by a point going into Monza. It's like, hello. Then we have Luke Browning, the British driver, on 123, and then an outside bet of Arvid Lindblad, who's 16 points off the championship lead. Red Bull Junior, who's absolutely rapid. So you've got no affiliation, Alpine, Williams, Red Bull. Then Ferrari driver Dino Beganovic, a Swedish driver, who started the season with 29th and a 13th. He's 29 off the lead. So he's still in the hunt. And right on the outside of it, 97 points, is Christian Mansell, who's had a very mixed season, the Aussie. But he's still got a chance. And I think Ollie Gerfer is just about out of it now. So that's 6 drivers who could win the title. But then you've got the outliers. Let's look, just to quickly mention them: Sami Megatulif, Mari Boyer, Sebastian Montoya, Callum Voisin, who won the last race in Spa. That car's been nowhere all season. And then the last, he's had 4th, 3rd, 6th, 7th, 1st. Hello, man on form at the moment. Noel Leon, Soloff, Gerfer, Max Esterson, if you're an iRacing fan, Alex Dunn, Matthias Stenshorn, who's a McLaren Young driver. You've got so many drivers there who could stick their nose in and just cause utter chaos in terms of the championship scores. So definitely want to try and catch up on. F2 are also racing, but their championship doesn't finish till Abu Dhabi. So, which shows how late the Colapinto change was. Colapinto is still down for MP Motorsport this weekend. Shows how quickly Williams told MP Motorsport, and maybe Logan will go and take. Actually, Logan could actually go take that drive because he hasn't won F2.
Yeah, we've spent too much time on Logan Sargent.
Yeah, I don't think he will. Obviously, generally,
I know what you're saying. I know, like, I know it's a joke. I know it's like,
yeah,
you know, yeah, but
I think the last time I saw something like this at Monza, I mean, obviously we had the freeze last year with Albon, but we had also 2 years ago with Albon, we had Michael Schumacher swapping for Jordan to Benetton for his second ever Grand Prix, and because it was all contractually chaos at that time, it always is with Eddie Jordan, they actually worked it out that Roberto Moreno went the other way to race for Jordan at Monza, and it just turned up that Moreno turned up with just his kit, just turned up at the circuit not knowing what he was driving until he got in a car. So yeah, certainly one to look out for. But anyway, I am going to throw this out there because this is the end of the podcast. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, follow, and if you want to sub, you can on Twitch. But obviously, the prices on that are going up. Thank you, Mr. Bezos. But yeah, Town Grand Prix this weekend.
We will be back. We will be back Monday for the review show, as always. For all your, I mean, we all know what you're here to see on Monday, which is how bad our predictions went. So please do tune in for that.
Yeah. Also, just for those people who don't know, free practice 1, 12:30 to 1:30 on Friday. That's UK time.
This is all UK time.
Yeah. This is all my time. 4 p.m. practice 2 on Friday. Practice 3, 11:30. Qualifying is at 3 p.m. So a little bit later than the last few Grand Prix because they have to fit in F2 and F3. And qualifying always seems to be the end of the day now instead of the F2, which means that it doesn't quite work out. Also makes it hell leaving a circuit because lots of people leave when it's F2. And 2 o'clock for the race start on Sunday. So that is the same time as this weekend. Just gone. But for now, thank you, Wajid, for joining us for the Italian Grand Prix preview, which, as always, is overrun by about 20 minutes. And thank you, all of you, for joining us right now. I will press the raid channel on Twitch. There's not loads of people watching on Twitch, but we will just press the raid button and pop over. Let's see. Oh, we haven't really got enough people to jump on Pondon, so we'll just raid over to Dario. Unable to raid Dario this time. Okay, whatever. Stupid Twitch. Anyway, Twitch, YouTube, follow us. Lots more content. We'll see you very, very soon. Peace. Honestly, we will see you soon if we can find the end stream button. We'll be professional one day, everybody. Don't worry. See you soon.
Probably not.